You've talked about defense a few times and how it's getting better. I mean, like, what do you most like about the improvements you guys have made on the defensive end? What do you feel like is getting most important?
Just the commitment that's been made by the players, by the staff, the work that's gone in, and that said, I mean, we held them to 108 last night. It very well could have been in the 90s if we'd have done a little bit better. But it's just, there are so many positive things that we're doing that we've got to make sure that we don't lose sight of those, and and just have a very grateful attitude for and grateful feeling about the opportunity to play these meaningful games.
Tyrese said last night that he hasn't been in a slump like he's been in the past few games. You've been around this league for a long time. When a player like him goes through what he's going through right now, how do you encourage him? How do you keep him positive and going in the right direction?
We all have to lose ourselves in the team right now. That's the answer. We've got a great group of guys. We've got a bunch of terrific players. All these guys are high character people, the kind of people that the city of Indianapolis, the state of Indiana could be proud of. And what everybody wants to see is a team. Is a team playing together, working together, problem solving together. And so that's where we're at. And we have to be a high functioning collaborative group that understands that in the NBA none of this stuff is easy.
What do you think brought this on for Tyrese? This slump?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what brought anything on. What matters is, we're standing here today with an amazing opportunity still in front of us. We still control our destiny, and we've got every single game we play from here on out is totally meaningful. Last year we were sitting here with this many games left, and it was just, we were just in development. We were just handing guys minutes, and it was good experience for our younger guys. But this is what it's all about, and we got to continue to learn and grow. And growth very seldom comes from things that are easy.
You brought the point I was going to bring up, is that everything you do want, it is right here with 13 games left to go. So is the message of sense of urgency, taking advantage of opportunities you have right in front of you to deliver and try to get these wins here?
Of course.
Yeah, I mean,
yes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that. So is that the message, though? The sense of urgency here, knowing what you want is to right in front of you?
Everybody's aware of how close the standings are. This is not the time to perseverate over that and overanalyze that. It's the time to really kind of reset our celebration of who we are as a team when we're functioning the way that we need to function. And when you have struggles, you're never as far from being where you need to be, and vice versa. And so we've got to make some adjustments, and we got to play better. And difficult games are tough, and difficult times are tough, and sometimes it's just as simple as a team needing to be gritty and find a way to get through it. And so we have some tools at our disposal. We're the best paint attack team in the NBA. Our defense is now trending in the last 6 games as top 6 in the league. And it's been proven statistically that when we pass the ball liberally, great things happen. And so, those are the metric things that are staring us in the face. But we just gotta get back to trusting the pass more offensively, and defensively we got to keep focusing on the minor details, because details are everything.
Rick, when you look at, you have been around different teams in your career.
It's good to see you here, by the way.
I'm trying to do it all.
It's 2 days in a row.
I know. But how do you, I guess, close the gap when you're trying to become a team that maybe hasn't done it like with this group, you know, getting to the playoffs? What are some of the things you can look at and say, we got to grow in this area to do what we came here to do?
Well, we started off our whole season with a meeting at Chad Buchanan's house. He's got a gymnasium in his house. He's got a court in his house. We set up our team dinner and our team meeting there, and the whole theme of it was details. And you know, we showed excerpts from one of the episodes of the television show The Bear. You guys seen that?
Yeah.
All right, the episode Forks. Okay. You know, a guy that, you know, seemingly had a life without meaning, found meaning in doing the little things that brought appreciation from others. And right now, that's what we gotta get back to doing on a consistent basis is helping each other and giving of ourselves for one another. I mean, but it's with the way it is so close in the NBA right now, it's always going to be about the details. It's always going to be about the details, and so this is the lesson that we must constantly remind ourselves of and keep working toward.
Do you think the guys have figured that? I mean, I don't say they figured out over the course of time. I mean, like, how have you seen sort of overall growth within this group? Not just what have they gotten better at, but I mean, you know, they've been in this crucible now for a while. You came into the season expecting to be in this, and you've been in this and been playing meaningful games for a while. How have you seen growth already? And do you think they come in with that understanding of what you're talking about, of details? It's obviously you have to hone that all the time, and it's constant. But I mean, have guys gotten that message?
Well, the growth is that over the last 7 games, we've had 3 or 4 really important wins against very good teams on the road. We've defended well in all those games, and we haven't necessarily shot the ball well in all those games. And so we've found ways to bring, you know, grit and guts to, you know, who we are as a team to win difficult games on the road. The slippage has been we've come home and we've had some decent defensive slippage, and you know we've paid a price for it. And so those are the things that we got to continue to learn. This is constant work, you know, constant work. I mean, all the things coming at all these guys peripherally, you know, just about their individual games is constant with social media and, you know, this, that, and the other. And we've just got to continue to work toward an environment of total collaboration and total team, and that we're helping each other do something very difficult, which is win games in the most meaningful part of an NBA season. And, you know, the opportunity to even say you're involved in that, you know, based on where we were 2 years ago, should be so uplifting to our guys and everybody in our organization and our fans. And hey, last night sucked. It sucked. Got a 15-point lead and, you know, give up an 11-0 run, you know, boom, just like that. You know, that's not good, but that's what we got to learn from.
You got it.
One more.
Last one.
Just have you seen maybe you talk about social media and stuff like that? Obviously, it's changed a lot over the years. Have you seen players maybe mentally recover or change their mental approach to the game? Like, as a sports psychologist, I saw a mental health room when I was walking through the Dennis Fieldhouse last night. Like, how much of that has been an emphasis in recent years to just drown some of that out?
Yeah, I just have to believe that at this point, all modes of social media have been around so long that, you know, players are smart. They learn, you know, what to look at and what not to look at, and we try to help them with that. You know, we have a sports psychologist. We have resources, you know, to help these guys with all kinds of things that come up. But most times it comes back to the simplest things. You know, play hard, play together, play unselfish. What else is there?
Yeah, I'm human. I think it happens over the course of a season, so it's only a matter of time before things start to go well, but just playing basketball.
How do you compare this to that late December time when
you're getting trapped. You said you're getting all this different attention to work through it. Like, what is different between this struggle and that struggle, if anything?
I feel like that was more of like a schematic issue on my part, just trying to understand how I could be better in my concepts and like understanding the correct way to attack blitzes and things like that. That's how it felt like. I felt like that was more like schematic breakdowns for me, whereas now it's not anything schematic. It's just about making shots. Like I feel like I get to my spots just fine, just not making shots. So those are a little different.
Feels a lot different mentally, I'd imagine, this time.
Yeah, because I feel like I feel like at that point it's kind of like me versus other opposing players and opposing defenses and stuff, and now I think it's me versus me more than anything.
We were talking to Rick moments ago about just how everything you guys want, despite the struggle from last night, is still right there in front of you. Is that something you think of mentally and also share with your teammates as well, that what you guys want is still there?
I think you can't lose focus of that. And my biggest thing is just trying to take it a day at a time. Like, I feel like when I look too far ahead and start to think too much about, what is to come, or what could happen if we win these games or lose these games, I think we get a little lost in, what we have to take care of in front of us. So just trying to take it a day at a time, really, and understand that, everything that we've wanted this year is in front of us, and we have the possibility to do great things, but it's about, kind of a one day at a time approach.
What's your mental recovery like? Just throughout the season, any game. You talk about physically trying to feel better, but like when you're going through stuff, like how do you kind of unplug and just reset yourself when you obviously want to succeed so bad?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. I think that it's changed a lot through the years of what it was, because I think like early in my career, it was so much of like, having so many people around me, like I always felt so open to just talk to everybody about what's going on. Whereas now my circle has obviously gotten a lot smaller in my life, so sometimes I can just kind of hold stuff within and how I'm feeling or things like that. So it's important that I'm talking to somebody, whoever that is, if it's a loved one or sports therapist, whatever it is, honestly, just mentally, how can I help myself? So it's a little different, the approach is a little different, but I think it always comes back to the basics of just enjoying what I'm doing. Like basketball is fun. This life I live is amazing. And the fact that you guys even want to talk to me in the first place, like that's a blessing in itself. And so just kind of understanding like where I am, and I think I've had some good, open, candid conversations with some people that mean a lot to me in my life lately, and it's just been good, because I think that it's so easy right now to. Everybody's answer to me right now is just like, you need to smile, have fun more. And I think me being honest, it's like, I've had these honest conversations, like, because there's a smile about it. You know what I mean? Like, losing's not fun, playing bad is not fun. You know what I mean? So that's like been frustrating, because that answer doesn't help me. But I do think that it makes sense in the sense of like, take a step back and reflect on where you are, and enjoy where you are, and like there's beauty in the struggle, you know what I mean? Like I think something great's gonna happen because this is happening to me right now. Like I think like it's a law of averages right now. So for me, I don't know I think I'm like 2 for 18 in the last 2 games. I really don't know what I am since the injury, since the break, since All-Star, whatever. I mean, it's gonna balance out. I'm a 40% three-point shooter my whole life, so I'm gonna get hot soon, and I'm not gonna stop shooting anyway. So I think there's a beauty in all this, and it just takes some time and having some patience, and in a world that wants you to figure everything out in a day or figure everything out within one game. I think that it takes some time, but I'll get there. I'm confident in that, and I think my teammates and the people who really know me are confident in that as well.
For this team, defense was something that you wanted to see improve. Now that it's improved, offense was so easy. Is there some confidence that you get that offense to where it was, and now your defense, you can really take it?
Yeah, 100%. Just getting our offense back to the way we played. Just kind of having an understanding of the spots we want to get to offensively. I think our spacing's been a little different. Obviously with some different personnel, but I think just understanding that we got 13 games left to kind of figure that out before we get to the playoffs, and understand when we're at our best and when we're not, and just do a better job of getting our space correct, and making and missing shots. I think honestly, me being completely honest, early in the year, if we missed shots, we were losing the game. That's just the point blank period. I think we've had some games like the Brooklyn game, or even really any game since All-Star break, we haven't made shots. So any game we've won since All-Star break has been because of who we have been defensively. So offensively, it's going to take care of itself. I think obviously it starts with me and my reads and making shots, but I think it goes kind of down to everybody. Once we feel good making shots, like defensively, what we're doing. I mean, we're a top 10 defense, I think, in the last 5 games or something like that. So if we keep doing that, I think everything will be fine.
I imagine
we have an important road trip coming up tomorrow. Give me your thoughts on that and your approach as you get ready for Detroit and these other tough games coming up down the stretch.
I'm excited. I'm excited to get on the road a little bit and get to compete. I think obviously starting with Detroit, who obviously is a young team with a lot of energy. I think that's fun. But then you get to go out west and play against 3 teams that have really handled us this year. I think Golden State beat us pretty bad here. The Clippers, handled us well earlier in the year, and then the Lakers in the season tournament. We still get to play them 2 more times. So it's exciting. The challenge will be fun, and I think it could be obviously defining for what our season looks like moving forward. But I'm excited for it.
I imagine another one you get from everybody you talk to is you got to believe the next one's going in. You got to forget this one. You get to believe that every shot you take is going to go in. How do you react when you hear that one? Does that resonate well with you, and how hard is it to do that?
Well, I don't need. I feel like I really don't need to be told that because I'm aware of that. The way I think is okay, if I'm 1 for 9, that means the odds of the 10th one going in are higher, and if I miss that, the 11th is higher. That's kind of the way I view things. But I think at the end of the day, the people that are talking to me that I'm actually listening to are people who I value their opinion.
Sure.
So in the moment, there's times where I can explode on somebody or be like, stop talking to me. You know what I mean? There's times where that happens. But I think sometimes you take a step back and reflect, and it's just kind of obviously emotions get the best of us at times.
Sure.
But I'm confident who I am. I think it's at the end of the day just trusting my work. I've never doubted myself. I wouldn't be here if I did. So why would I start now? You know what I mean? I don't plan on it. And like I said, it'll take care of itself.
Tyrese, what do you think, not to go too deep into this, but what do you think brought this on? Do you think it was the All-Star break? Do you think it was the injury? Do you think it was a combination of things? What do you think has brought this slump on?
If I had the answer, I would fix it. I don't have it, so
I don't know. I think just over the course of a season that this happens to everybody. Not probably for this long of time, but I don't know. I think it just happened, and can't really worry about that. It's not going to fix it.
Have you spoken to a sports coach with the Pacers? And if so, what was that process like? Because as an athlete, you're super confident all the time, right? But there are moments where you might need to just hear somebody's perspective on something that if you're going through, that's unique.
Yeah, for sure. I've done that for kind of the last couple of years. It's been good for me, even when I'm not. I don't want to just talk to him when I'm struggling. I think there has to be a conversation at other times too, because I think obviously what happens on the court is what happens on the court, but just life in general, it's important. I think for us as basketball players, as men, to get those things out, because not everybody cares to hear how we feel, or that's just the point blank period. To half the world, I'm just helping them make money on DraftKings or whatever. You know what I mean? I'm a prop. You know what I mean? That's what my social media mostly consists of. I think it's important for us to have somebody to talk to, and I think all that stuff is it can be funny sometimes. If somebody's I lost $1,000. I don't give a you know what I mean? But, I do think that it's important for us to just have conversations with people who really value who we are as human beings, and it's not just sports psychology, but it's our teammates, it's our loved ones, it's people who really look out for our well-being, and that's important for me to just have those constant conversations.
It's a long season, man. Everybody says that, but we're at the end of that season now. That's at the point now we got to make a decision. Just get in and self-test on the road, just win games. That's all it comes down to. When you sit here and talk about it, you sit here and talk about schemes, X and O's. It's about anchoring down, doing what we need to do. I think we've made some strides all season defensively. I think we're in a decent spot with that, but now it's just continue to improve and get it hot at the right time.
Where have those biggest strides defensively been?
Our communication has been so much better than it's been at the beginning of the season. I think everything's a push and a pull. Everybody has to be able to work together and whatnot. And I think our synergy has grown a lot more in that area as well. Rebounding is still probably the biggest improvement, I would say. But other than that, I think we've got a lot better.
Myles, you've been on playoff teams before. What is it like when you're like there's like a new, I guess, look of a team that could make the playoffs and trying to close that gap to who you are now, who you want to be?
Just getting there, man. I think experience is everything. You know, you can. I think when you go down the line and you look at some of the teams in the Eastern Conference, a lot of those teams, they're the top experience teams. They're guys that have been, deep runs before. So for us and our guys, just getting us, at least into that first round, so you can just taste what it's about, and then, just fighting it out from there.
We're doing a story spotlighting Coach Jenny. Just give me your thoughts on her, just what she's meant to just this entire team, just having around you guys.
Yeah, just intense passion, man. Jenny, ever since I've known her, everything she does with a lot of passion, a lot of care. She has a humane side to what she does, but she also has a switch that she can flip as well. And I just respect, her being in a male-dominated industry, being able to, have opinions and have facts that, have opinions that actually help. You know what I mean? That are facts and actually grow our game and whatnot. And I think that she makes the game a little bit easier, for guys who are coming in, especially younger guys. So she definitely serves a role here, serves a purpose at a great level.
Yeah, some of the guys we talked about, is that she does more than just the X's and O's. She's there to help us with life advice and things like that as well.
Yeah, she's seen both sides of things. She's seen the WNBA and seen it grow from there. And she's also been in this league as well and seen it grow. So she has a unique perspective, I would say. And I think a lot of guys know all ears when she speaks. 13
games to go. What are your approach as you guys get ready for this tough, when you think about it, road trip here, but a very important one with so many less than 15 games to play?
Yeah, don't panic. I mean, that's my biggest thing. What I'm preaching to guys as well. You can't let one loss turn to two turn to three, and just try to stumble off like that. So I think not panicking, knowing that we will get hot at the right time, knowing that we are doing things the right way, knowing that the law of averages definitely has plays into a lot of things we're doing, and just trusting each other, pouring into each other. It's an important time of the year.
Rick has brought up a number of times in the last couple of weeks the number of passes per game. That's not something we see in the box score, but do you feel it when a game ends, the ball wasn't moving as much, and that's Pacers basketball, a lot of passes?
Well, of course. I mean, I think that's where we hung our hat on this year, was our ball movement and our ability to run up down the floor, our pace. But the pace has changed a little bit. I think that when you got newer players and newer guys that are coming to your system, like Given Pascal, things have changed just a little bit for himself. He's a 20-10 guy every single night. You know what I mean? And he brings a very unique, perspective to our offense that we haven't had over here in the past couple of years. A guy can just go get a bucket. You know what I mean? So that definitely slows it down just a bit, but it's just not necessarily the same as what it was at the beginning of the season. That's to be expected when you're adding in newer guys.
I guess adding on to that, you've also lost Buddy and Ben. How is this offense just overall different? Just in terms of how it's spaced, in terms of how it functions. Like you said, you add a guy that you can throw the ball into and get you a bucket. Just how do you think you guys function differently, and what's it been like getting used to how you function differently?
Well, it's a long-winded question. Let's start at the beginning. You said what was the beginning of your question?
It was just with what you've lost and what you've gained, how do you function differently as an offense?
Well, what we lost, obviously, we lost some outside shooting and Ben's aggressiveness getting to the rim and whatnot. So, you got to make up for that in other areas. And I think that we try to make up for that is a half-court offense. When you get into the playoffs, get deeper into this point of the season, you're not going to get as many buckets in transition. That's just what the game is. So we try to make up for that with just an extra opportunity in offense. Try to get more threes up. I think our number of threes have gone down, and that's another thing we're trying to get up as well as the number of passes. So shoot more threes, putting more shots on the rim, creating more opportunities for ourselves. And then as far as the approach with Pascal, it's just he makes it hard for other teams because either he's going to be one-on-one down there, get the bucket, or he's going to cause guys to suck in, and a lot of other guys can get loose as well. So. Yeah.
Myles, how do you give yourself grace as an athlete when you're in the spotlight and this pressure cooker? And obviously you expect to do things at a very, very high level all the time, and when you don't do it, you can be hard on yourself.
That's hard, man, and honestly it is. That's the stuff that fans, don't see. You know what I mean? You have to go home, after a game like last night, you have to sit there with it, until you play the next day. We're expected, just to move on and, get on to the next game. But we're all human at the end of the day. We have emotions as well. But, nobody really cares, you know what I mean? So I kind of just, internalize it. I have my circle. I talk about it, who I talk about it with. And then you just put on a fresh face and show up to your job. Just like you guys all, go to your jobs every single day and have to just be professional and be yourselves, and that's exactly how I kind of take it. Just take some stuff on the chin. You're gonna hear stuff, you're gonna say stuff, but you just gotta keep it rolling and do your job.
5 away now.
Couple more guys.
What will the franchise block record mean to you?
I mean, it's not. It's a rarity that anybody can step into the league and lead a franchise in something or set a record. So obviously, it would mean a great deal. Just to speak to how long I've been here and just the work that I put in to get to the position. Yeah, it'll be a special thing, for me and my family as well. But until I get there, I'm not really counting on it yet. Just when I'm there, it'll be a great thing. But I'm not trying to just change the way I am just to try to get the record. You know what I mean? So it's just open.
You ever talk to J.O. about it or anything defensively?
Not really. I talked to him a little bit last year. I hold my camp back in Dallas at his facility, so I talked to him a little bit about it last year. But I mean, he's been all just encouraging, I would say, go get it. You know what I mean? So there's no hate or anything like that.